Hi there, Becky here from 168 Fitness. Last week I was giving you my top tips on how to start losing weight this month if that's your goal, because a couple of weeks ago I was saying set your September goals now and start working towards those. So I'm going to give you action plans each week according to different goals. So last week I started off talking about weight loss, because that's often a common one after the summer holidays if you've overindulged a little bit. Maybe you've put on a few pounds, which is absolutely fine because you've got plenty of time to lose those pounds ahead of sort of Christmas and Christmas party time, but you do need to start ASAP really. So that was last week's advice. So go back to the video last week if you are wanting to lose weight but haven't seen my video yet and started following that advice. Now this week I'm going to talk about probably the second most popular goal that I get asked or we discuss it with clients, and that's running. Now running isn't for everyone and it definitely isn't essential. It's not necessary that you just to be fit you have to be able to run or vice versa. So it's just that a lot of people tend to want to be able to run, but maybe they're not so good at it, or they're not fit enough to do it when they first start, or they're doing the wrong things, or they're trying to run too fast to start with and feel disheartened when they can't run. And maybe because we see people on TV running and we see people out on the streets running and making it look easy, and then you try and start and actually it's not as easy as it looks for those people that have been doing it for a lot longer time and have built up that fitness. So what I want to do is give you some practical tips on how to get started if you're an absolute beginner and perhaps you want to be able to run 5k. Now in Loughborough, if you're local to Loughborough, we have the Santa Fun Run, which is I think it's 5k at the start of December, which is just a nice little fun run. People dress up as Santas, but it's a good one to aim for if you're starting to run now, or you want to start running. Then that could be a good organised event to aim for, because you can walk it, it's suitable for the family as well. It's not too it's not pressured, it's just a bit of fun really, and we're in the spirit of it, and it gives you plenty of time to train and get ready for it. Having said that, every week in most areas up and down the country there is a thing called Park Run, 9 AM on Saturday mornings. It's a 5k organised event. Again, it's not pressured, it's not a race as such, but some people do take it more seriously than others. You do get a time, but it's not chip time, so it's kind of a little bit less formal, and it's more just kind of about participation. So there'll be people of all abilities and all times and yeah, kind of fitness levels and everything at any of those events. Now we have one in Loughborough. If you're not sure of the details, please do get in touch, I'll give you that one. And they're all over the place, so have a look on parkrun.co.uk, I imagine. Google to find out whether there's any in your area, and you could be doing that as one of your weekly run sessions if you want to get started with running. And you can do that walking, you can do that jogging, running, sprinting, whatever level you're at. You can be taking part in that and tracking your progress, because they're all measured out, they're all 5k routes. Or you could just say that you want to get started with running and then use that as go to one of those events to kind of finish the programme and be able to run 5k non-stop, ideally at one of those events. So just going back to that, so thinking about your kind of what you need to do to get there, because we're not quite there yet. If you're just starting to even think about running, then we don't need to necessarily be planning which 5k route you're going to do in the end. It's just good to have that goal in mind, obviously, to get really focused and specific and have that date and that race or that event in mind that you're going to aim for. But there's some work to be done first. So one of my tips that I would say has worked for some clients of mine before and lots of people is the Couch to 5k app that you can get. Now personally I haven't used it myself. I can't say that I have, because I've been running 5k for quite a long time now, so I haven't needed to use that app, but I've known clients to use it and get results, and I hear lots of good things about it and read good stories about people starting from absolutely nothing and using that app to be able to run 5k and then going beyond that as well. So that might be something that you look into. Basically, it will be interval running, which is exactly what I'd recommend for people to start anyway. So intervals of running for maybe 30 seconds and then walking for 30 to 60 seconds recovery, and then running again for 30, walking again for 30 to 60, etc. Building up like that. So you're doing interval repeats, so running repeats for like maybe 10 of those, 30 seconds, 10 of those in your first session, and then the next time you run you would maybe do 10 lots of 45 seconds with some walking in between, and then the next time you run after that 10 lots of 60 seconds, 10 lots of 90 seconds in the one after that, etc. So you build up your how long your stamina, basically how long you're running for non-stop, until eventually, so if you went 30, 45, 60, 90, maybe 2 minutes, and then maybe 3 minutes, and then 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you could probably jump to 7 minutes, you could probably jump to 10 minutes after that. That's usually what I would get clients doing, with walk intervals in between. So obviously I'm talking about that was sort of 10 weeks maybe of training. You can make it you can do it in shorter period of time than that. I can help people get from nothing to 5k in sort of 6 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. So 10 weeks you could be running that 5k definitely, but it's always good to build up gradually. So if you are complete beginner starting from zero fitness, then it's always good to take it week by week and maybe do a couple of those sessions, so same sessions each week, so 2 lots of the 30-second interval sessions, and then the week after you do 2 lots of the 45 seconds, and then the week after that 2 lots of the 60, etc. So basically interval training, just a nice steady comfortable where you can still control your breathing, that kind of pace. You don't want to be sprinting. That's the key thing, that a lot of people when they start running, like I said, go off too fast, and then feel like they're out of breath and they can't breathe and they're struggling, and then they end up giving up because it actually feels really hard. So the main thing is to start off really nice and even slow, like not even just steady, but just nice and slow, because you can always get quicker when you get fitter and more comfortable and you get more used to it. But if you start off really, really fast, then you're going to end up probably feeling not very comfortable and not want to keep going, because why would you keep going if you feel like you can't breathe and you're going to pass out on the floor? So I would give that advice to anyone of any level, whether you're doing these interval sort of beginner sessions, or even for myself. I always start off really nice and steady when I first start my run, because I know I can get quicker, and when I settle into it more, I get more warmed up, when I get more awake and just feel more comfortable, and also when I know that I've not got as long to go to finish my run. So in that last mile, that's usually my fastest mile when I'm doing a sort of 7 to 10 mile run, because I know that it's the last mile I've got to do and I give it my all. So yes, so start off nice and steady. That's one of the key things, regardless of how long you're running for. Start off nice and steady. When I was talking about concentrating on your breathing, one of the key things I say is breathing out. It should be your main focus rather than the in breath. So when you're breathing out, it's a bit like you might do in the gym. When you're doing an exercise, you should breathe out on the effort. So which might sound a bit strange when you're watching me and I'm not running at the time, I'm just sat down, but breathing out consistently and focusing on that breathing out will just really help to regulate your breathing, for one, because you'll always take air in between each outward breath, but it will just help you to feel a lot more calmer, a lot more in control. Breathing out feels a lot more relaxing as such, than doing gasping like that, which is often what people do when they're running. So do focus on the breathing out. What else do I need to tell you? So yeah, starting steady, breathing out, and being consistent as well. That is one of the key things. Now that's the same for a lot of the goals and a lot of advice I'll give. You've got to be consistent when it comes to fitness and even weight loss and things. But with the running, be consistent. Don't be afraid that if you like do one session a week, that will help you. You will get fitter, and your running fitness will increase, and your stamina and everything else doing that one session a week, as long as you do it consistently. So you do one session a week every week. It doesn't matter what day you do it on, but as long as you do once a week every week. And same for if you do 2 or 3 sessions a week or more, but if you're complete beginner, sort of 3 maximum, I would say. That as long as you do 3 times a week every week, you will get results. But if you do sort of 3 times a week on one week, and then maybe nothing the next, and then you maybe do 2 the week after that, and then you do 1, and then you do 3, and then you do whatever, and you keep just mixing it up and doing more one week than the other, and sometimes nothing, then that's not being consistent, and that is when you actually you're not going to get as good of results, because your body doesn't get in the flow of things and the swing of things, and you just need to be more consistent so that you're building a good base of fitness so that your body can get stronger and build on that. And if you're doing it week in, week out, then that's when you're going to feel the most benefits. If you're sort of doing it one week because you've got loads of time, and then the next week it's a bit busier and a bit harder to fit in, so you don't bother, or you're just feeling a bit more tired or whatever, then that's not going to help you that much, to be honest. Having a week off when you've been doing sort of a training program, you need a week to recover, that's different. It's good to have that recovery week, but not dipping in and out of it, especially when it comes to running. The key is consistency with your training. So that's why the Couch to 5K app, as I said at the start, that's why that is really good, because it will give you that set plan of action for building up from where you are now, which is probably nothing, to 5K. I'm not sure how long it takes. If anyone knows, please do let me know, or if you've used it for, please do get in touch. But yeah, I would imagine certainly between now and the end of the year, you could be running 5K with that app. I'm quite confident of that. So they're my top tips for starting to run, if that's your goal for September. Please do get in touch if you've got any specific questions. Always happy to help. Running is my thing, so would love to give you some more advice and personal training info. So good luck with that, and I'll see you next week for some more top tips.